Alright guys, in case you don't know, my name is Gus, and welcome back to another episode of In Too Deep. In today's episode, you're going to join me as I haul my 1979 Broward 70 out of the water yet again, this time to put it on blocks and get some much needed work done before embarking on an epic adventure to Florida and the Bahamas this season. I bought this boat about 3 months ago, and I've been working hard on it ever since. So hop aboard and tag along as we get the Broward in tip-top shape and ready to travel. So I've spent most of my summer this summer preparing the Broward for a winter of epic adventuring. The plan is to take this thing down to Florida and the Bahamas, and a thought crossed my mind about how important it is to stay connected with the world when traveling internationally. And that's why now is a perfect time to mention the sponsor of today's video, Haulifly. But first, let me go get cleaned up from this oil change. Well, now that I'm all cleaned up, I'm going to tell you about Haulifly. Haulifly simplifies international communication by utilizing eSIM technology. An eSIM is a digital SIM card that you can activate instantly. They get delivered right to your email or WhatsApp in under 1 minute. While eSIMs are not compatible with every device just yet, the technology is quickly progressing. You can check out Haulifly's website to see if your phone's compatible, but most phones are. With Haulifly, you won't encounter any hidden fees. You buy your plan, and that's what you get. Haulifly's app makes managing your eSIMs so easy, and the pricing is incredibly affordable. Right now, I can buy an eSIM for the Bahamas for under $60, and that's good for 30 days. Haulifly is definitely a must-have for travelers. They offer over 200 destinations with 8 regional plans, like if you plan to travel all of Europe. They offer unlimited data in 152 locations. On top of that, 149 of those destinations are hotspot capable. Even though Haulifly is so easy to set up and ultra reliable, you can rest assured knowing that they have a 24/7 support team that's there to answer any questions you may have and help solve any problems that might arise. Haulifly has a Trustpilot rating of 4.6 with over 41,000 reviews. There is a ton of people using Haulifly, and there's no secret as to why. It's the best way to stay connected internationally. Best of all, you don't even need to touch your factory installed SIM card. That means that your phone won't work any different. You'll still have all of your contacts. If you're interested in learning more about Haulifly or you're ready to purchase your eSIM right now, click the link in the description of this video and use promo code INTODEEP. Thank you to Haulifly for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get right into it. All right. So this is a very spur of the moment thing. But right now, right here, right now, we're gonna try and haul the Broward out at Southport. We have a pretty state-of-the-art 55-ton travel lift, and this boat is probably all of 55 tons, if not maybe some more. And I was just making plans to go haul this thing out across the bay where they have a 150-ton lift, and then I'm like, you know what? We've got to try it. So we're gonna go up there and see what the boys are doing. We're gonna see if we can haul this boat out. This is gonna be like ultra sketch. Ultra sketch. And it's windy. I don't know why I picked today. Alrighty. I thought you said you didn't want to watch, Kip.
I'm not going to watch. He's gonna go high. I'm not gonna watch. I'm gonna go have another drink now.
What do you think, Logan? The man running the machine.
Try not to.
Oh, come on. We need you to think,
hey,
out of anyone here.
It's exciting. It'll be my biggest boat, so.
Oh, Garrett even put his suit on to watch this. Hey, Garrett. You put your suit on to watch this?
I did.
What do you think? This is deja vu, because a year ago yesterday,
it was the same video, just a different boat.
A year ago yesterday, we hauled the Hatteras out on the Hostar. So
I think it'll be just fine.
And you said, oh, so that's better than last year.
Where are you gonna live tonight?
On my cold ass boat. All right, I'll go get the boat. So here's what I'm thinking. Yeah, perfect. We'll have the front
I'm
straps
just gonna drop the fronts down a little bit, but not much.
That way it captures the boat.
Yeah, that's what I always do. I like having the front ones a little higher, and then I can control you from there.
Nice. Okay.
So we got our extensions, all our...
That's perfect. It's pretty windy, but the wind's favorable.
Coming in.
So I'll hold it where I can hold it, and we should be good. Those might have to go down a little further just because the stabilizers extend pretty far into the... But it'll be definitely much less of a shit show than the last time I held out. All right, let's give it a shot. Professional than
how is it going? Mike, you're good. Cheese.
hell yeah.
Mike's up. Morgan. Mike.
Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
Hey.
Go say hi, Mike.
Thank you.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Oh, that's nothing. I think it's going to. It's light.
Holy fuck!
Woo! That's all right. Hey, bring the bow up. Let me check the stabilizers. What? There you go. No, it's fine. I think it's a lot lighter than we think. All right, Logan, hold it right there for a sec. Let's make sure it's okay. What the hell? The scales are not working. 16 and 15,000 pounds. The scales are broken. It only weighs 20,000 pounds. The scales are broken.
It's 20 each side, it's 40. Yeah, it's 20 each side.
It's a lot more than 40,000 pounds.
It doesn't sound heavy though.
The scales haven't moved since it was in the water.
Something's up, yeah, with the scales, I don't know. That's reading like 35,000 pounds. What are the tires like? The tires don't even look
The motors weigh 35,000 pounds.
Yeah, but that fuel boat weighed 80, dude. Yeah. Well, what did the tires look like by comparison? That other block went. That was the other block.
It is what it is.
No, that's squatting that hard.
Yeah, that's squatting hard. Wow, they lifted it. Shoo-wee!
Wow.
Well, that was a success. Dude, good job.
That
Woo-wee. Kev,
I wonder how heavy that is.
what do you think?
I don't know. Go look at the
He loves
You
it.
look at him?
He's loving it.
Yeah, it says like 30-something thousand
Nice
pounds.
job. Nice job.
I think they went over backwards.
I think they went over. They didn't go around. I don't know. We go look at them though. I mean, those tires are squatted. Yeah. See, that's heavy for that.
Didn't struggle. You should have seen the other time I hauled it out. It really, that lift struggled. This side.
Did it really?
Oh yeah, and that was a 70-ton lift.
Didn't sound like it was strong.
Flat.
I'll videotape you power washing your boat. Good work, buddy.
It's my time to shine. All right. Happy Monday from Southport Marine. I think it's the 30th of September right now, Monday the 30th. Anyhow, the Broward's out of the water, and I have a couple big missions. Fortunately, I won't need to touch the running gear on the boat this time. You guys saw what I went through on the Hatteras last year. This thing's in pretty damn good shape. All the cutlass bearings are nice. Well, that one's set in there, but they're really like, someone did the running gear in this boat not long ago. There's no vibrations. I'm so happy about that. Like, wow, this thing is smooth as silk. So look at the size of those wheels. These are big honkers. I think they're 34s.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. I need to attack the Zincs. The Zincs are such an important part of an aluminum boat. I saw a couple comments in the last video. People were wondering, well, what are Zincs? What do they do? Because you saw me welding them on that steel boat. Well, there's something called a sacrificial anode, and that's what a zinc is. Sometimes they're made of zinc, sometimes they're made of aluminum, sometimes they're made of magnesium. Aluminum has been found to be the best all around saltwater and brackish water zinc. Zinc is really only good in saltwater, and magnesium is best in freshwater. So in my case, aluminum boat, I want aluminum Zincs. I've got to chime in real quick to clear this up. You keep hearing me say zinc. What I should be saying is anode or sacrificial anode. They're commonly referred to as zincs, but since I'm going to be putting aluminum anodes on the boat, I should be calling them anodes and not zincs. Well, back to what a sacrificial anode is. A sacrificial anode is a metal that you attach to your boat. It is bonded to your boat, and it corrodes on behalf of your hull, in my case, or if you have a fiberglass boat, it corrodes on behalf of your engines, on behalf of your running gear, your rudders, any metal parts that are on that boat. Since this is an aluminum hulled vessel, Zincs are very important. Some might say you don't really need them if your hull's properly coated, but you know, relying on every surface of a 70-foot aluminum hull to be coated is, you know, you're asking for a lot there. So there's some different locations for Zincs on this boat. First location are these side plates. This zinc must not be bonded to the hull very well because it doesn't really seem to be corroding. This one was definitely corroding at one point. Not sure if it is anymore, but I'm gonna take every single zinc off of this boat and replace it. So I'll go around and show you. We have these zincs here. We have a zinc that's falling off here on the engine exhaust scoop. That's the stabilizer. We'll get into that more later. Up yonder, the pressure washer, we have a cone zinc on either side of the bow thruster here. Then we have a spot where a big zinc bolted on, probably on either side, which is non-existent as of now. We have another cone zinc on that side of the thruster. Then we have another zinc on the engine scoop here. We have two zincs here. Then you have your shaft zincs. You can see this is where one once was and it's gone, it corroded away. Then you have zincs on either side of your struts. More over here, zinc there, shaft zinc there. This strut, that's a little, looks loose, but I don't think it is. And then over there. So, oh, and then you have rudder zincs. Sometimes you have one big one on the back of the hull. In this case, no. And there's no zincs on the trim tabs. So that's what we're dealing with. I'm gonna pop them all off right now and find replacements. So the aluminum zincs I'm putting on the hull are made of a much lesser grade aluminum than the hull. The hull is 5000 series, and there's a really good write-up that I read. Well, there's a bunch of them, but an aluminum zinc is not just pure aluminum. It's mixed with some other stuff to make it very sacrificial, per se. So that's what I'm going for here. we want to sacrifice the anodes and not the hull. Alright, so I got all the zincs off the boat, and now I'm going to take apart the grate for the bow thruster so that I can try and access that cone zinc on the tip of the prop shaft of the thruster. I think there's one on each side. I think over here we got Victor. Hauled his lobster boat out. Mr. Maine Lobster himself. How we doing? The old lobster boat, huh?
Full work boat.
She's looking good.
That's not that bad.
No.
Almost 2 years not being hauled out.
How's the lobster season been?
It's going good. Good prices here. And catching a good amount, so.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Woo-wee. Well, shit. I had to come say hi. Alright, so I got in there. There's my little cone zinc. Now I've got all the zincs off the boat. Alright, so one of my big missions while the boat's out of the water is to replace this fridge. And I know you're probably thinking, that fridge looks fine. What's wrong with that fridge? Well, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's missing all the shelves. It's got some cracking, so I guess there's a little something wrong with it. But I quoted the shelves, and it's like the same money to buy a new fridge. So I went and got a scratch and dent special on a new fridge, and it's got a water dispenser ice maker in the door. I'm really excited. So right now I'm figuring out how to get this beast out of here. We have an inch of door clearance if I take the doors and the freezer drawer out of this. So right now I am getting these bungs out so I can get the trim off just by screwing a screw in there. Yeah, it looks a little blurry, but so there's the piece of the bung, and then clean that out, and then you can get a Phillips head in there, and I can get that screw right out of there. Like so. Give us a little more vertical clearance. All right, so I'll show you the action of getting this fridge out, but it's not going to be that fun. I'll make it happen. Better do it while the boat's on land. I can get a forklift right up to the side of this thing and make hopefully easy peasy work. I don't think it's going to be that easy peasy. I don't want to scratch things. As always, I'll make it happen. All right, so I got the fridge pulled out. I have to take this stainless plate off of here and make new holes in the new fridge for that. But look at the flooring that used to be back there. Wow, freaking old school, huh? So there were a bunch of screws that, well, not a bunch, but 2 screws that were holding down each side of this. And when I pulled it out, I scratched the crap out of the floor. Not happy about that, but is what it is. I found out about them. Now it's rolling freely. Now to figure out how I can shuffle this fucking thing out there, fudging, and out that door and off the side of the boat. That's gonna be a chore. All right, I took the drawers out, I took the doors off, and now my friend Kevin's helping me hustle this thing out of here. It's gonna do a little bit of damage, I'm sure. I have nowhere to grab.
Try to shimmy it forward a little bit.
Yeah, it's on the carpet. We can shimmy it. Yeah. Don't turn yet. Keep going straight. One sec. Alright. Alright, you can turn now.
Yeah.
Alright, let me see if I can lift this thing. You don't have to drag it.
I don't think it's fitting out of that door, dude.
Oh no, I'll get the door off.
Oh.
Comes right off. Alright. Alright, go this way. You're gonna lay it down right there. Whew. That's a unit. Wow. Alright, I'll take that door off.
Taking out the fridge. She doesn't like the soft ground.
Doesn't like being so high. It takes losing traction. Oh, that might be part of the problem. Alright, so I'm gonna come in with a slight port side trajectory here. That ought to do it.
Dude, if you tip the boom forward from there, you'll easily make it.
Really?
Oh yeah. Perfect.
Am I lined up enough?
I mean, that should be good. Without scratching it like we did this one. It'll be quite the adventure. We just have to pop the doors off it real quick. Alright, we just got our new fridge loaded up on the forklift. Me and Eric took the windows and doors off, ice maker line, water dispenser line.
Now we're gonna see if we can transfer this thing to the vessel safely.
We'll see.
All right, well, we're all set up and we're gonna try to do one of these into the boat with it. We'll see how it goes.
Nice. Let's pick this bad boy up.
Scratch and dent special at this appliance place.
Oh, you got a couple more scratches in it.
You better hope it fits between the stairs and the stove. Did you measure that?
Oh, it will. I measured that. But we should probably try it just to be safe.
Pick up, don't scratch the floor. Ready? Alright, ready. Pick up?
Yep. That's
Yeah. Got a half inch here. Perfect. That's what you want.
perfect. Perfect. Perfect.
Alright, I came to say hi.
Hi. Alright, let's get this fucking... I got a nice stainless plate that goes on this side of it.
Sweet. Alright, make it look stainless, huh?
It like backsplashes the stove.
Sweet. Alright, I just came to say hi.
Hell yeah, thanks for the help, Jim.
Alright, let me know when you get paint, bud, because I'll help you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's... Wow, I fucking dented this good right here, huh, Eric?
Yeah.
Woo! Alright, so I just finished the fridge installation, and I said, alright, before I hook the water supply up, I better go change the boat's main water filter, because I had never changed it, and I mean, it's a good idea to change, and I didn't want to contaminate the filter that's in the fridge. I was amazed when I pulled this thing off. I wouldn't say amazed in a good way, but this thing is disgusting, first of all. Way dirtier than I ever thought it would have been. And this is a raycor filter. Someone jammed a frickin' fuel filter in the water filter housing. Look at this thing. That's ridiculous. So, that's what belongs in there, a sediment/carbon filter. I'm gonna flush that thing out. The housing is up behind the stabilizer unit. And clean that all out and then put this nice filter in there, and then the water in this boat should be pretty good. All right. So today I got a very exciting package in the mail. Naiad. That right there is one of my stabilizers. Now, you guys might remember me mentioning the fact that I thought one of my stabilizers was leaking inboard. Well, I'm not 100% sure that it is leaking, but there was some water that had tucked itself behind where it mounts, and the thought was if those seals go bad, you'd take on water. However, what I didn't understand is that behind this plate right here, so this fin comes off of a tapered shaft, similar to like a propeller on a prop shaft, and you unbolt this retainer from the hull, and there's a double seal under that. That seals the salt water out, but it also seals the gear oil or grease packed into a bearing inside there. So if those seals go bad, you contaminate the grease and you do all sorts of damage inside where the stabilizer shaft comes out of the hull. So Naiad recommends replacing these seals once every 3 years. I would be willing to bet these have not been changed in a long time. So what I did was I called Naiad and I spoke to them. So first things first, you need a special tool to get these stabilizers out. So for almost $800, I got this friggin' threaded piece of metal stock right here. And basically the way it works is on the inside of the hull, there's a way to pin the stabilizer in center, and then you pop this rubber plug out of the bottom here. There's a bolt or a nut, I don't quite know yet, that you take out, and then this tool threads all the way up in there and essentially pushes on the end of the shaft. I guess there's a threaded metal collar inside the stabilizer itself, because this is fiberglass, that lets you take this off. Anyways, it's a big mystery right now if the stabilizers are going to be in good shape or the bearings are going to be in good shape on the other side of those seals, or if they're going to be contaminated. I'm really, really, really hoping that they are in good shape and the seals held up against salt water on both sides, because it turns into a massive extravaganza to get those out, to get the rest of it apart, to replace the bearings, and the stuff's expensive. So I'm really, really, really looking forward to seeing what we can do here. The old stabilizers. So what we'll do right now is hop up in the boat and go to basically the outboard side of the engine room and pin this thing in center so we can insert the tool and see if we can get it off. All right, so right now I have a lot of things under construction here in the engine room, but what I'm going to do is come back here to the stabilizer. This is the top of the stabilizer, and right down in there, that was the standing water I'm talking about. And that's what makes me think that everything's fine seal-wise, because you would see that leaking out somewhere, I would think. And the fresh water pump and all the plumbing where I had a ton of freaking leaks going on is right there, so it's possible it's fresh water. I haven't tasted it yet. I don't know if I'm gonna. But what I need to do here now is contort myself down in here some way or another. This is the pin. Oof. I'm gonna have to put this camera somewhere. All right. So this thing, this pin is supposed to turn. I'm gonna have to go get a plier and some WD-40. All right, I got some WD-40 and a thing of channel locks. Let's get that nice and soaked up. Let's see if we can get this thing to free up here. Oh, there we go. Sweet. Cool. All right, we're almost in center. So the pin's not gonna go right back in there like that. But what I need to do, so let me give you a better view of what's going on here. So essentially, this piece right here is is that you, Mike? Mike! I'm glad you're down there. I'm trying to get this pin to go in. Try and move it a little. Hold on, I gotta figure out what valve to open to let this thing go free. All right, so we just got the pin in. I've got my friend Mike down there, and he moved the stabilizer while I cracked that line loose just a tiny bit. Got it in place, pins in, so now this thing is totally secured. So while he's here, I'm gonna try and climb on the other side and we'll do the same thing. All right, so now I'm gonna climb behind this port side engine. I'm gonna have to contort myself in here. Let's go down in the hole. If I was any bigger, this would not work. Oh. Jiminy crickets. I might have to go with a different angle. It's a little tight in here. No, it looks like I made it. All right, I'm in. So this side is the same thing pretty much. You've got the pin right here, and this one's actually not stuck. I'm still gonna juice it up with WD-40. All right, let's see if this one lines up. Wiggle it a little. Ah, that one went right in, Mike. Sweet. All right, so now we're pinned. We are pinned. Now, I need to get out of here. All right. So I don't know if you'll be able to see in there, but there's a bolt way up in there. This is at the fin itself. Need to get that out, and then we'll see what we're working with. Put that tool in there. Mike. Mike's my helper. Well, he's not my helper, but Mike is so graciously helping me right now. So we're gonna see if we can get this fin off. Holy shit. 1 1/4 inch. Let's try 1 5/16. Close. 1 3/8. Money. You think the gun's gonna do it? Literally. Oh, that's what they give you all those washers for. Look at all the anti-seize on that. Someone did have this apart. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. All right, special tool. Aha. I say we paint this in anti-seize.
Good idea.
You know how that goes with these frickin' pullers and stuff. The guy at Naiad, he swore that this thing wouldn't strip out even if this was really, really stuck on there.
Yeah,
So
you got enough thread collar to get enough bite to.
yeah, probably threads in quite a bit.
Yeah.
Probably put some there too, huh? Give it a little assistance on whatever it's pushing on.
Should be the end of the shaft.
Yeah, should be. This fin's made of fiberglass. I don't think it's that heavy. But it's definitely threading in. Nice, that means I can take this one off. Does the gun take it off, you think?
I think it will.
You
That's
think?
a big gun.
Yeah, I better be ready to catch this fucker. Whoa, it's heavy. That's heavy. Jeez, fuck. Holy shit.
Get the back of the fin. I got this one.
You ready?
Yeah.
Alright, down we go.
Woo! Stuck under it.
I got you.
You're stuck under it. I got it.
You got it? Wow! Holy shit! That thing looks like it's in pretty good shape.
That's good.
Wow! I've never experienced such a thing. So there's the shaft. That's a fat shaft, huh? We got some damage here. That's not from us. That was just existing.
Like your anode.
It was from the anode hanging down. It must have been. Must have been. Wow. Well, Naiad's tool did the job. I want to say someone has serviced these.
Or they assemble it thinking of service. Unlike most people.
Yeah, right? Alright, so if we take all these Allens out, that should expose the seal and tell us what we're dealing with for damage, if any. Although I'd be willing to bet some shit would be squirting out of
Yeah,
here.
it looks dry. That's the first thing I was looking at.
Yeah. Phew. Well, while we're at it, should we just take the other one off?
Let's do it.
Sweet. It's stubby. It's nice. And thank you. Wow. Shove that thing in there. That. Right in there. Sweet. Okay. All right. So maybe if you go that side.
Be ready for it this time.
Alright, ready? Yep. Wow. Holy shit. That went a little better. Cool. Hell yeah. Wow. It kind of is heavy though. So, this is what we're dealing with here. There's my fin. There's the shaft that comes out of the hull. And I cleaned it up with the wire wheel. We're gonna pull these 4 Allens out and see what it looks like in there. Those seals should come out, and it'll be very interesting to see if they went bad and if we're looking good. I really hope we're looking good. Please. Please, please. All right. I hear beeping. I don't know what's beeping, but anyways, bottom paint time. Time to paint the bottom of this thing. I'm gonna tape it all off first, and then I'm gonna paint it. So all these spots that I thought were bare aluminum, turns out it's actually not bare aluminum. It's barrier coat. So sure, there's a lot of barnacles everywhere. Is what it is. I got most of them off, scraped some of them. When I'm going along, I'll scrape more if it needs it, but I'm really just gonna blast a coat of paint on this, probably 2 coats. All right, today's bottom painting day. You remember Uncle Jimmy. He showed up here to help me paint this thing. Much appreciated. So we're gonna go around. Actually, you guys remember, Jim's like a professional painter at this point. Painted his top sides. It came out beautiful. So we're gonna paint the bottom of this thing right here, right now. See how she comes out. Look at this, coming out beautiful. Uncle Jimmy's painting service, absolutely freaking top notch. It's amazing what a coat of paint does to a boat, huh?
Yeah, baby.
Whew!
It looks like $1 million.
So there's a couple spots that I barriered, and we're gonna let that dry a little more before we start popping bottom paint on it, but back to the time lapse. Jay! Jay, just one quick little insert into the video.
Okay.
Jay doesn't like going in the videos,
hate
but this
going in the
guy's awesome.
I hate the video. What do you got?
We painted the boat. She's painted, looking beautiful. Not so beautiful, but beautiful enough. What do you think, Jay?
You gotta get some paint in the bow thruster.
Oh, I didn't paint the thruster yet because I still want to take the props off. This little section I'm going to do, that was barrier coat.
Yeah, looks good.
But she's looking good.
Yeah.
All right, Jim, honor this thing.
All right, baby.
Pull that tape right off.
Here we go.
Yank it.
This is gonna be.
Jim likes the video.
I don't like the video with.
Yeah, the fuck you don't.
I summoned him. I summoned Jim.
There we go. The painter.
Oh man.
Jim, no, walk ahead of it.
I haven't tried. Up and up.
Pull down, pull down, pull down. There you go. There you go, Jim.
That's
Here's
fine
the
line
official way
tape.
to do it.
That's fine.
By Jay Haley. Oh yeah.
That's going on the internet, Jay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's no way to no way to webs for this kid.
Oh yeah. Look at this. Fast forward.
Wow.
We're gonna run
Go
through.
slow here, kid. Go slow. Go back. Go back. Grab the green.
All right, so it's a rainy day out here. Raining. Back to work on the stabilizers. I'm getting ready to pop this plate off. It's still a little stuck. I've got it ready to pop. This is the moment of truth. Did these stabilizers get contaminated with salt water? I've waited a couple days to pull these apart. I've been nervous because it's a project and a half if they did get contaminated. So I'm gonna work this pick around here, see if we can get this plate to come down and get a view in there. Ooh. Oh, well, that outer seal does look a little messed up. All right, let's see if I can pry these seals out.
Did it rip a leak?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they're headed out to, down to Florida.
There's a hurricane going through this week, huh?
Yeah, they're about to get smoked.
Yeah.
Frickin' sucks. Seal numero uno. Looks like that one had a little intrusion, but didn't make it through seal number 2. Let's find out. Oh, they freaking wedged all sorts of art. 4,200 up in there. that sounded good. I heard a seal vacuum break, so that's a good sign. Ooh. I think we might be lucky here. Well, I got the seals out. They don't look terrible, which is actually a really good sign. The inner seal doesn't have water pooled up in here, which is a really good sign. And the outer seal did, so that means that this one got breached, but the inner one likely didn't get breached. There's a little plate up in there that I have to try and get out to see if the bearing grease is wet, but no water is dripping out, so that's a really good sign. I think we might be lucky, at least on the starboard side stabilizer. I'm gonna go over to the port side, pull that one apart, and see what it looks like. All right, so I got the seals out of both sides. That's what she looks like up in there. No water dripping out. Naiad seals. The grease looks a little whitish. I wonder if it's supposed to be or if that means it got crematized by salt water. What is nice is that there was no dripping water out of there, so that's a good sign. I think if there was any major water intrusion, water would have been dripping out of there when I pulled those seals out. I'm gonna try and get the base plates out of there and hope for the best. All right, so it is the following day right now, and I'm working on the zincs right now. So I just sized up all of the zinc plates for the struts. There's a plate that goes on the outside of each side of each strut. So there's 8 total on just the struts. So my truck's running right now because what I just did was I drilled all of my plates where they needed to be. I labeled them, so PAI is port, aft, inboard. You know, PFI, port forward, inboard, PFO, port forward, outboard, etc. Each of the holes are in different spots, so I drilled them all. And then let me show you what my idea is here. So I don't know if this is a thing, but instead of mounting these plates flush against the struts, what I want to do this time is space them. So what I did was I bought some 6000 series aluminum spacers, and the plan is I'm gonna use these spacers like this against the strut, and they're gonna be, well, they'll be in the bolt holes, but they're gonna be spaced off of the strut just ever so slightly. That way, the water can contact the forward and the back side of the anodes. So I'm curious, let me know in the comments if you think this is a bad idea and why it may be a bad idea. I think it's a better idea for a couple reasons. Reason A, you get to utilize the entire zinc versus having most of it sandwiched up against the strut like this. And before you say you can't bottom paint, I know I'm gonna clean up the little circles where the spacers are gonna sit, but that brings up a whole nother point. B, you're giving less spot for corrosion to build up and less, you know, probability of this thing stopping making contact. So one downside I do see is that now you have 2 points of contact to the back side of the spacer and the forward side of the spacer, but I think it will kind of counteract itself because this zinc surface is not perfectly flat, nor is the strut surface perfectly flat, and now I don't need to grind down this entire surface to bare aluminum. I only need to do 2 little circles where those spacers are going to sit. Seems like a wise choice to me. Downsides, I guess if the material that the spacers are made out of doesn't combat well with the 5000 series aluminum that these struts are made out of, which those spacers are 6000 series aluminum, we'll see how it works. I'll know if they're working or not based on if they're corroding and also the K-pack meter in the boat. So, the only other downside that I see is that now these are going to be spaced ever so slightly away from the hull. So there is a possibility that a line from a lobster trap or something could get caught on it. However, there's a lot of real estate down here for lines to get caught on anyhow. So not all that worried. I also thought about possible water disturbance to the propellers, but then I'm like, well, crap. You've got this whole thing, that's blocking water. These struts are blocking water. The water intakes are blocking water. What's a zinc that's pretty much streamlined with the hull going to affect? They're not going to be spaced off very far at all. Now, I have the exact same idea for these bar zincs that are going to be mounted on these zinc plates right here. They're going to be spaced off the hull a little bit. They're going to look good. And now I don't need to grind down this whole thing to bare aluminum. It will just be wherever the spacers are going to sit. So I don't see any big problems with this. I'd be curious to talk to someone that really knows about zincs. I called a couple of places, boat zinc companies. I actually tried to call Broward. They didn't really want to talk to me about my 1979 Broward, but can't really blame them. What they did say is that in '96, Broward had a massive fire and they lost a ton of their paperwork. They lost it all, apparently. So there's no real information floating around for this vessel anymore. I did hear from pretty much every previous owner of this thing. Reached out to a couple of them. I'm gonna reach out to the last owner who named it Enough. He emailed me, I just saw it. I'm gonna call him because he's the guy that I think put a ton of money into this boat. He put the naiads on it, I believe, which I'm also gonna try and get back together today. So, headed to Home Depot to get hot dipped galvanized hardware to hold these zincs on because I've read that's a lot better than stainless when it comes to mounting aluminum to aluminum. And I'll be able to get the zincs mounted, then I'll put the stabilizers back together. And that's pretty much my October 8th update. Plan is still to leave here November 1st with the vessel. Headed to Florida. I can't wait. I have to say guys, this summer has been the most testing summer of my life, I think. It has been really hard for me. I'm not totally sure why, but I think it's a combination of getting chopped open surgery this winter, and I didn't really heal up perfectly until like halfway through this summer. I was in pretty rough shape, and I got back here from, in Florida, I got out of the hospital from being in there for a month and a half. I was weak. Ethan was pushing, we got to go now. He basically made the plans to leave Florida before we even had a date that I was getting out of the hospital. So I had to go immediately when I got out, and I've been balls to the wall since. The day I got back here to Maine, I was working, and I wasn't even really supposed to be working yet. Sorry for the spiel. Figured you guys might want to hear that, but I am ready to depart. Really looking forward to this season. It's gonna be the best one yet. Yeah. So, Home Depot, get bolts, and then back to the grind. All right, guys, just got back from Home Depot. Logan! Boatyard is busy as all hell. I'm gonna show you what I got going on here, and then I'm gonna install all the Zincs, and then I'll show you guys a video after I install them all to save you the whatever, maybe interesting but somewhat boring time lapse of me screwing Zincs onto a boat. Obviously, I'm going to clean all the surfaces they're going on before I do anything, but let me show you what I got here. 4 aluminum 2¼ inch shaft Zincs, 8 of those plates we were just talking about, 2 Zincs for the rudders, 2 Zincs for the water exhaust scoops, 4 Zincs that are going to get mounted to those side plates, 2 on each side, and then all of the hot dipped galvanized hardware that I've come up with. And then these 2 Zincs are for the bow. There's a little bow plate. I'll show you where those go. Right here. And what I'll do is cut these lengthwise, and I'll put one on each side. If the K-Pack overreads, that means the boat's over-zinced, which can actually be a really big problem on an aluminum boat. Cause the paint to just delaminate from the hull. If that's the case, I'll remove these 2 from the front first. It's just a matter of a quick dive in the water. And then these are all the ones that were on there originally, so they should be fine. So, oh, and these are my spacers. Right now, I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna clean all the spots up with the grinder and install them. All right, so it's nighttime right now, and I worked on the boat all day long. I got a lot done. I didn't get to the stabilizers yet. I know you can barely see anything. However, I got all the Zincs on, working on getting the props off the bow thruster. I cleaned the whole starboard side shaft and prop. You know what? I'll just show you guys in the morning. See you tomorrow. All right. So, to pick up where we left off last night, because it was dark and I figured this is way better, I got all of the Zincs mounted. Check this out. Got my spacers in there. They're nice and bonded, clean metal where those spacers hit. All that's nice. I'm gonna paint over where the bolts mount. I started cleaning the shaft and clean the prop. I'm gonna do the other prop and the other shaft and then the forward shaft. Check the torque on the couplers. Put new cotter pins in here because, I don't know, looks a little preschooly. Rudder Zincs are on. I'm going to tape those off and paint the missing spot, touch everything up that I missed, couldn't get with the roller. Moved all of the stands so that I can get to where I couldn't get to, where the stands were for paint. What else? Oh, so I have yet to clean up this surface, but I talked to the guys at Naiad. Big shout out to Connor from Naiad in Connecticut. He's very helpful. Send him a picture of the grease. Wow, holy crap. Blackhawk. Connor, look at the gun on that thing. Or missile launcher, whatever that is. Wow. Anyways, this side I cleaned up perfectly. It looks beautiful. As I was saying, I sent Connor at Naiad a picture of the grease that's in there. He says it looks great. Doesn't look like any water got in there, so that's good. I was pretty sure that was the case, but I didn't know what color their grease was supposed to be. So you can see this shaft is in such good shape. They installed this Naiad system in this boat in 2014, according to the paperwork. And I'm so lucky, like, this is a badass system. And it is in freaking perfect shape. So I am excited to have a reliable stabilization system. Boat's coming together. Zinc's there. Oh, these are my side Zincs in such a better orientation than the other ones. I say Zincs, but they're actually anodes. They're aluminum, so they're not zinc. They're aluminum. but they're beautiful, nicely mounted, and yeah. So that's the progress update. I'm gonna get back on the stabilizers now, clean the other side up, and see if I can get these bad girls back on and mounted. Progress is going good. I believe today is the 9th of October. It is the 9th. Launching on the 17th, so I have 8 days. Plenty of time, really. Compared to my position last year with the Hatteras, that was a stressful one. Wow. All new running gear and this and that. At this point, I don't even think I had the shafts like shipped out yet. So crazy. This thing's gonna be ready to rip. I have a feeling this boat's gonna treat me spectacularly this year. Knock on wood. Let's find some wood. All sorts of wood. Maybe some oak and then some pine. So all is good. I'm gonna get back to work here, cleaning that up and get the new seals put in and get the fins back on. Alrighty, both sides are clean. I'm going to try and install these seals. All I can say is wish me luck. We're gonna see how it goes. Should go well. Good and tight. All right. That right there is all set. Wipe off some of the extra sealant. Let me go get some acetone and then that side's done. Look at that. Freaking beautiful. So I'm gonna clean that up a little, even though it's not really messy. And then I'll time lapse the other side. Alright, so the GoPro died earlier when I was time-lapsing the reassembly, but I got both sides back together. They're beautiful. I taped it off, painted it. Now I'm getting ready to put the tabs back on. I just cleaned out the bore because it's very, very important that this bore is very clean and this shaft is very clean because there's no key. It relies purely on the taper to hold this thing together. So right here is some new washers. These are special washers. I don't know if you can see, but they're called spring washers. And it's important that you stack them in their correct orientation. So the big bolt, you stack them in spring orientation, if that makes any sense. So I'm gonna double check these are correct. Yep, they are. They're gonna go over the big bolt. The instructions say a light coat of anti-seize on the threads, rest of it's dry. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna see if I can get my friend Sean to help me muscle these things back on when we really should be blocking it up and maybe even using a jack of some sorts. Give it a shot. Go over to the other side of the boat with my washers and anti-seize. Right here. So that's all nice and painted as well. Assembled. I think that's where the time lapse quit, was about halfway through this one. But it went just as smooth as the other side. And I cleaned this bolt very nicely. So that's good. I'm gonna check the orientation of these. Got 1, 2. Looks good. Very nice. All right. I'm gonna set that somewhere where it's not gonna suffer dirt. Shaft's clean. I think we're good to go, and then it's on to the realignment. So they were aligned pretty much center on with that zinc, but I'm not sure that that's right for this boat. I'm gonna take some measurements off the keel and see what we can't figure out with that. Watch your head on that. You got it? Got it? All right. Good. Perfect. You can let it make it flop in the grease. Nice, dude. That was it. Alright, that's one. Next side. Xander's going in the water. Hell yeah.
Can't wait.
So Xander just spent the last 2.5 months fixing up his sailboat.
Yeah.
And what are you gonna do with it?
We're sailing through the Caribbean, across the Panama Canal, and across the Pacific in spring of 25.
Hell yeah.
So,
What's your
yeah.
Instagram?
Zan's Boat Life with an X. And
Hell yeah.
My buddy and I are doing it together, holiday in Maine, and we're doing a documentary on ocean plastic along the way.
Awesome, man. Well, have fun, be safe.
You too, man. Thank you.
Going in the water. Big day. got that?
Just pull back on it.
Quick break. I'm gonna get this bolt off and through the hole, and then we'll lift it.
That's a heavy unit, huh?
Woo! That's a unit right there. Jiminy crickets. Wow. Thank you. Woo! We did it. Woo!
Oh yeah.
Logan, back again, making people's dreams come true.
What's that?
You're making people's dreams come true.
Hey, I try. I'm trying to make my own dreams come true.
Aren't we all? Aren't we all? Alright, so I just got the stabilizers in, and then I started back on sanding or wire wheeling the propellers. That one's done. This one's getting done now. And then I realized I could do a time lapse, so you can watch me clean the crap off of these props. It might be kind of hard to see, but this is prop glide, old prop glide that's dry. It comes off hard, which is a good sign. This was done like probably 4 years ago, so it held up. All right. So, another busy day at SPM. Today, what I have done is aligned the stabilizers. Now, I used a couple different methods, talked to the guys at Naiad, and after some figuring, the keel is the really only accurate reference, because these scoops and zinc tabs and everything else might be welded in a slightly different location. So what I did was I used this piece of wood sitting on this cooler to essentially find the center line of this stabilizer. And then I took some measurements, figured out exactly where I wanted them, looked at previous footage and pictures I had to see where they were, made one nice consistent mark at the keel, both sides, referencing this weld, which is probably close enough, you know, maybe a ½ inch off or something. Sourced ideas from other forums and stuff that I've read, and what I came up with was a measurement from the top of the trailing edge to my mark on the keel of 70¼ inches. I like it because when they're centered, the exhaust is not blasting them, and it's about 1 inch, so the trailing edge is about 1 inch further from the keel than the forward edge, the leading edge of the stabilizer. And if you notice, this thing is shaped like a wing on an airplane. I have them pretty much where I want them. Now I'm gonna sand them. I've sanded this one, sand the other one, paint them black. I haven't fully torqued the big bolt that holds the thing on, but I have tightened them enough where they're stuck on the shaft. They're definitely not moving. So I'll do my 300 foot-pound torque after I paint them and all that. I want them to look good. While I'm under here painting, I'm gonna paint all the other spots that the stands were at. Should be pretty sweet. So mission stabilizer is pretty much done. I'm ecstatic. All right, so yesterday I got my stabilizers all done, painted up. They're beautiful, looking good. Look how nice that shaft in there looks. This boat got the friggin' works. Shoo! All right, so I just got my other bow thruster prop off, so now I've got both props off. Bow thruster tubes exposed. I brought it in the shop, cleaned just the surface, and then carved P and an S in it because I don't want to get the port and starboard mixed up. But look at all the crap that's on these things. And that's after I scraped a lot of it off. When I clean these up, they're gonna be beautiful. But look how I got this off. I synthesized a homemade tool. I took a Harbor Freight puller. Let me show you. I welded a couple other Harbor Freight puller pieces on there and then a little tab at the end so that it would catch the edge of the prop. Yeah, I mean, that's what ultimately got my bow thruster props off. Well, the one that was stuck. One came off with a couple taps. So I'm gonna clean these up and then they're gonna get prop gladed like the rest of the running gear will. Let's do it. So I'm just over here grinding away at the prop shafts and doing the bow thruster and whatnot. And I fell for a classic. This is a classic one. So these little strings that hang out of your sweatshirt, seen all the videos of people getting their faces caught in drill presses and stuff? Well, I got myself caught up in that thing and I sliced myself open pretty good. It's not deep, so it's all right, but knock on wood. Need some wood to knock on. I'm pretty good at not hurting myself. So, minor, but don't grind with sweatshirts that have fucking hoopties hanging out of them. All right, guys, it is 9 p.m. October 11th. It's Friday. I'm down in the engine room. I am beat from today. Just sanding and my wrist incident, whatever. But there are 4 things I want to accomplish down here right now. 4 things I want to accomplish. I want to try and get them done quick. Covers back on the water heater from my switch nearly caught on fire. I forget if I recorded that or not, but the upper element temperature control completely melted. I came in here and it was like a smoke frenzy, plastic smoke. That's why I have all this apart. I thought maybe there was something going on in there. So thing 1, get the covers back on that. Thing 2, if we come aft, if you look over here, we have this turnbuckle that is loose. Over here, it's nice and tight. If you notice, it's black over here. Black and diesel soot because we have a major exhaust leak where this pipe meets this pipe right here that comes from the back of both turbos. So I'm gonna take this cover off. I think we have a bolted flange in here with a gasket in the middle of it. So we're gonna address that. Then I need to take this raycor off, just this one. If you remember, when I first got the boat, I rebuilt all the raycors. Well, this one of the bolts snapped right here. So I want to take this off. I'll empty the fuel, clean it out. I'll be able to weld a nut to the broken piece, get that out, replace the bolt, clean it all out. It'll be good. Then I can reinstall it. All right, that was 3 things. What was the 4th? At one point earlier this season, I made this strainer because there was no strainer in that water pickup, which serves all the heads, both generators, and the air conditioning pump. And it was just regular steel. It was actually galvanized, but clearly that didn't hold up. So I need to get some stainless steel screen so I can redo this with stainless screen. That won't be tonight though. I also have a air conditioning compressor that I need to put in this air conditioning unit right here. That compressor's upstairs. That's coming soon. I've got a lot of stuff to do. And I'm starting to slow down because I'm smoked from all this. But it's okay. Just because it's like a lot. I'm tired. It's getting cold. But I'm in a way better position than I was last year with the Hatteras. If you flash back to this exact time last year, the boat had no running gear in it at all. It was, oh my god. Whew. So this is, at least this boat's functional as of this moment. Anyways, it'll all be worth it. Going to the Bahamas this year. It's all gonna be so worth it. Going to Florida and just, I'm so friggin' excited. Phew. We've got some big plans for the future. Alright, I'm gonna get to work here. I suppose you guys can watch me in time lapse. I lost the audio from this section of the video, but as you can see, the gasket was completely destroyed. I mean, it had rotten out and it was just gone. Trying to get that mount. Get it twisting a little. There it is. Alright, I'm gonna wrestle with this and then I'll report back. Alright, I got that bracket off. Now these broken bolts are in there, so I'll get those out. It's starting to move. Whoa. I'll keep wrestling. So I had to loosen those clamps. That's a big honker. Whew. Look at this thing. That's like a 10-inch exhaust. All right, now to source a gasket for that thing. Clean it up, make it look good. All right, guys, it's the next morning. I am on the grind today, though. I've got so much to do. I want to prop glide my running gear. I want to go fix this raycor. I came back down with my angle grinder to get these 2 studs that I was showing you last night out. I just cut them flush and then gave them each a good whack, and now I think they're gonna literally pop right out. Yeah, see. Here they come. There it is. All right, so now I'll be able to get my vacuum down into the tube and suck all the rust and shit, and also 1 broken stud fell down there. Need to make sure to get that out because that will just flutter and cause a corrosion nightmare in here. And then source a gasket. Probably gonna have to make my own, fine 1/4 inch thick graphite gasket material, all set. So that's that. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna paint this so I can slap a piece of cardboard over the wet paint and get my gasket design, my template, and go from there. Then I can wire wheel all the paint off and make this nice and clean, and we'll not have any more issues with that. But we're only about halfway done. All right, so I just finished sanding that shaft, so now everything's bare metal again. I wiped everything down heavily with acetone, all the running gear. I've hung the bow thruster props after wiping them down in acetone off of these beautiful sailboat stands and some rebar. Now, prop glide. All right, so look, last year I contacted Prop Glide and I was like, hey, I'm redoing all the running gear in my Hatteras. Is there any way you guys would want to send me some Prop Glide? And they did. And I have to say, I used this Prop Glide on the Hatteras, and when I got down to Florida and let the thing sit in the water, it was like any barnacles, anything that grew on this, you could wipe it off with your hand, versus like anything on the bottom of the boat you were scraping off. I like this stuff. So this is leftover from last year. They sent me enough to do all the running gear in the Hatteras, but it got so cold last year that I had to do it. I had to do just the props because I had those inside. I couldn't do the rest of the running gear. So I'm hoping I have enough to do all my running gear. I've got a small kit and half a large kit and then a small kit. So I'm hoping we got enough, but I'm gonna prioritize the props and the end shafts and the bow thruster props, and then if I have enough I'll do the other halves of the shafts. But yeah, shout out to Prop Glide. It's like very similar to Prop Speed, but it's more affordable and it's made in America. I can vouch for this stuff. It's good stuff. That's all I gotta say. All right. The prop glide is completely complete. 2 coats of primer and 1 coat of the top coat. I love this stuff. Bow thruster props are done. Looking pretty good. This is in the sun, so I could probably touch it. Yeah, it's pretty, it's getting there. But this stuff needs to dry overnight before you can really touch it or do anything with it. Then I'll sand down the spots where the zincs go, there and there. You might say, why didn't you just tape them off? I don't know. It was too late. I didn't think of it. I did think of it, but when I thought of it, I had the frickin' prop glide already mixed up and going, so I said, oh, I'll just do it later. Anyways, came out really nice. I'm very happy with it. All right, so now that the prop glide's done, I'm hungry, ready for lunch. But first, since today is a highly productive day, I'm gonna hop on the one wheel. We're gonna go to the shop and I'm gonna get that broken bolt out of the bottom of that raycor. All right, so this is what we're dealing with here. That thing is rotted. I don't know if you can really see that too well, but that's a rusty bolt in there. The other 3 are good. I need to get that out. So I'm gonna play with the welder and see what we can't do here. All right, so since I have no very effective way of cleaning that up, I'm gonna try and blast some weld in there and see if I can build it up a little bit first. All right, so usually the first one snaps off, but we're gonna give this a shot here. First time's the charm on this one. Shoo! Look at that. Wow. You can actually see I barely grabbed it. So some of you might say, well, why didn't you just drill that out? Well, from my experience extracting hardware, which when I had my auto shop, I used to do exhaust manifolds up the yin-yang. I did so many exhaust manifold jobs. Half of those would always snap. So it'd be like steel bolts and aluminum heads and steel bolts and cast heads. I like steel and aluminum extractions the best because the weld never sticks to the aluminum. As long as you don't blast it with the welder, you won't damage it. Drilling them out never works. I mean, it like never works. You have to set this thing up on a Bridgeport and beyond by the 1,000th to even have a chance of getting it right. To center your drill bit, it just doesn't work. Weld a nut to it, it always freaking works. All right, so for the last project of the night, I'm going to install the raycor. It's like 10:30. I'm ready, set, and poof. It's installed. Bam, chicka, wham. Just gotta put the filter in it. All right, guys, it is October 15th, 2024, and I'm launching in 2 days, so I'm starting to get excited. I've been so hard at work. But it's back to the exhaust, the big exhaust system. So what I did here was I painted the flange similarly to what I was saying, and I made myself a rough cut template, and you can barely see, but there's bolt holes. So I spent a good portion of my day trying to figure out where I can get material, graphite sort of material, to make this happen. So I went to one place and I got some rubber to do some other water gaskets that I have, but they sent me to a place called Tri-State Packing Supply in Scarborough, and these guys are freaking awesome. Pete, I don't know if he owns the place, but he is a wealth of knowledge. He looked at that, and in about a second and a half, he's like, oh yeah, I can make that. So this is the flange for the exhaust. That's the outer flange. So I initially thought I'm gonna have to cut this thing out. It's gonna be, you know, with an X-Acto knife, very carefully. And I'll have to do 2 layers because it was like an 1/8 inch thick. Well, he's like, oh no, I have all the material and we can cut it for you right here. In about 5 minutes, he cut me 2 of these gaskets in case I need one for the other side in the future. Look at this. It's 3/16 stainless cord, just like the one that came out and rotted away, except this one's probably better quality. Graphite made, high temp, quality gasket, cut by a machine. It is perfect. It fits perfectly. So now all my problems are solved. I have the gasket. So I'm gonna take a wire wheel, I'm gonna clean the exhaust side up over there, clean this side up over here, and I'm gonna be ready to go, exhaust wise. I'm so happy this worked out like this. Big shout out, Tri-State Packing Supply, Scarborough, Maine. Pete, you're the man. He gave me a tour of the place. Good dude. All right, so while I'm over here cleaning the exhaust, I forgot to mention that I replaced all these broken raycor gauges with nice new vacuum gauges, so I can see what's going on here now. All right, and just like that, she's all set. Nice brandy new exhaust flange, elbows reinstalled. Gonna replace that water thing. Oh, that's from the other day. That wire wheel accident smoked my hand. Tighten those clamps up. I already did the water hose on this side back in Virginia. She's all set. She's ready to rip ski. All right, guys, we have some pretty exciting stuff going on. So I'm standing here next to the Broward, and tomorrow she is going back in the water. It is October 16th, 2024. I plan on leaving for Florida on November 1st, so this is crazy. 2 more things I need to do before I can launch this thing. First being, I got a big old hole in the boat. You see right in the engine room. Wow. Not very thick, huh? That's aluminum for you, 1/4 inch hole. So here's the deal. I got a nice new transducer. You might be thinking, oh, stainless and aluminum, that doesn't work. Well, they recommend you use the stainless transducer, but they give you insulation rings, so the stainless never touches the aluminum. But I need to gape this hole out to 2 3/4. Well, really 2 13/16, but I'm going to 2 3/4 because it matches up to the ring the best, and I can sand a 1/64 of an inch out if I need to, according to my caliper. This is 1/64 over 2 3/4. Anyways, I was gonna drill a hole in a block of wood with this hole saw and then use the block of wood as a template. And then my friend Mike was like, hey, why don't you see if the arbor will accept another hole saw inside of it so that you can use it as your pilot, you know, the same size hole as what's there. So that's exactly what I've got going on here. going. Take some juice. Oh, it's pretty much there. Wow. Thank God. Whew. Can't believe that worked. Putting this drill, Mike's drill, to the freaking limit here though. There it is. It's a big hole. All right, so it's now dark and the transducer is in. I still need to barrier coat it, but this is my last project to get done before I launch tomorrow. So basically down in here we have a through hole. Let me get you a good view of it. See that through hole right there? That seacock, the valve? Absolutely smoked. So what I have done first, well, now I'm recording because I feel like I got a victory on it. I was able to get it to turn ever so slightly, so that's a good sign in the first place. And then I was able to just snap the handle off of it. That thing's in rough shape. So here's the new one. Bam chicka wham. It's supposed to be stainless on, there's a aluminum stainless insert, and then it goes to stainless, and then stainless valve. There's bronze on there now. I don't know why, but the rest of them are stainless and they're in good shape. So I'm gonna get that off and go from there. All right, it took some wrestling. Whew. But I got her out. She's definitely one beat seacock. That thing's smoked. We'll get the barb fitting out of it. I'm gonna have to replace the hose, but that's all right. She'll be good to go. Little side-by-side comparison. As you can see, we're dealing with some junk. That's bronze too. I don't think under any circumstance are you supposed to use bronze in this boat. I do not believe so. All right, she's all installed. Ready to go. Out she comes. The Broward. So, you'll notice there's no nameplates on. Nameplates are off the top. That's because I am proud to say that I came up with another name. Not Enough was, everyone recommended that. I had thought of that. But I'm like, you know what? I really don't like the Enough. So I have decided to bring this vessel's name back to what it was named when it was brand new in 1979. For the first 20 years of its life, it was named something. I did this to avoid the superstitions of boat renaming and this and that. I haven't put the new name on. I have the vinyl. Right now it still says Enough on the back of the boat, but the new name will be on before I depart for Florida and the Bahamas.